All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to be architects, but we're not designing buildings. No, we're designing digital vaults, the kind that protect a company's most valuable secrets. So let's crack open the blueprint and see how it's really done.
You know the feeling. We have all been there. You desperately need a file, you click on it, and bam! The computer just shouts at you, "Access denied." It is so frustrating, right? But what if I told you that message isn't a mistake? What if it's actually a sign that a hidden super smart system is working perfectly?
Because this is what that system is protecting. A company's data. It's the new gold, the crown jewels, the whole shebang. And just like any real treasure, it needs to be locked down tight in a vault, with a really clever system for deciding who gets a key and, more importantly, who doesn't.
So where does a digital architect even begin? Well, they start with one golden rule. It's the bedrock of basically all cybersecurity, and it's called the principle of least privilege. Now, it sounds a little fancy, but the idea behind it is actually beautifully simple. And that's it right there. You give people exactly what they need to do their job, and absolutely nothing more. I mean, you wouldn't give the mailroom clerk the keys to the entire building, right? The big takeaway is this: access isn't a perk, it's a tool, and you only get the tools you actually need. Okay, so that's the why, but how do you actually make it happen? Well, it's not just about putting one giant lock on the front door. A truly secure vault is more like a fortress, with multiple rings of defense, multiple layers of security. Let's take a look at how those layers are built.
Think of it like a double gate system. The first gate is what we call share permissions. This is like the big gate at the main road. It controls whether you can even see the property in the first place. But if you get through that one, you're not in yet, you immediately hit the second gate, NTFS permissions. This one is like the high-tech biometric scanner right on the door of the specific room you want to enter. It decides what you can actually do in there. Can you just look at things? Can you change them? Or can you even delete them?
And here's the kicker. For you to get in, both gates have to say yes. If that main gate at the road is locked, it doesn't matter if you have a key card for the room inside. You can't even get to the door. And if you get past the main gate but the scanner on the door says nope, you're still locked out. The rule is simple. The most restrictive setting always wins.
Now, this double gate thing sounds pretty solid for a small team, right? But what happens when your company isn't so small? How on earth does the architect manage all those keys and key cards for a massive organization?
Just try to imagine it. Keeping track of who needs what for 5,000 different people, each with their own job, across maybe hundreds or thousands of different folders. It would be a complete and utter nightmare. Trying to manage that one person at a time, it's just not possible. You need a professional blueprint. And this is that blueprint. See, the pros have a secret. They don't manage individuals, they manage groups. And they do it using a strategy with a funny name, AGDLP. This elegant, scalable master plan is really what separates the amateurs from the pros.
Let's break down what that acronym means. First, you've got your individual user accounts. You take those accounts and you put them into global groups, which are usually based on teams like sales or marketing. Then you take those groups and put them inside domain local groups, which are based on a task like read sales reports. And only then, at the very end, do you give permissions to that final group. It's kind of like a set of nesting dolls.
And the absolute genius of this is that you've separated the people from the permissions. So when a new person joins the sales team, you don't go messing with hundreds of folder permissions. Nope. You just add their one account to the sales group, and poof, they automatically get all the access they need. It's so much cleaner and way easier to manage.
Okay, let's put our architect hats back on and solve a real problem. We're back to where we started. Our employee, let's call him Bob, is staring at that dreaded access denied screen. Now that we have the blueprint, how do we figure out what's wrong?
Well, now we can troubleshoot it step by step. First, we check the AGDLP chain. Is Bob's account even in the right global group, the sales team? If yes, is that group inside the right domain local group that actually has permission? Okay, if all that checks out, then we look at our two gates. Was the perimeter share gate locked? Or did he get past that only for the NTFS scanner on the folder's door to block him? Our framework gives us a perfect roadmap to find the problem.
And once we find the issue, we realize something pretty cool. That access denied message wasn't a glitch. It was the vault's defense system working perfectly. It did its job and stopped someone who didn't have the right set of keys. It's actually a sign of a very healthy and secure system.
So, the next time you see that access denied pop up, you'll know about the incredible invisible architecture working behind the scenes. But that leaves us with one last big question. In a world where people are always changing jobs and roles are constantly evolving, how does a good architect make sure the vault's blueprint is never out of date? How do they build a system that's not just secure today, but is ready for whatever comes next?